Just in, baby dolls, the US Fed is introducing CBDCs in July this year. That's right, it's finally coming. CBDCs. We've been talking about it forever. I've been telling you they're coming. I know how that one world government idea, it's going to pan out, and many other people do. We're going to go through some details, and this is bullish on crypto. However, it's going to make a lot of people scared, but what ends up happening is you kind of get assimilated into it and you see how the fiat Ponzi system works. Look at this. We're going to go through this tweet from Sir Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Look at this. So the Fed just announced it's Fed now. Central bank digital currency in July. Okay, so CBDCs grease the slippery slope to financial slavery and political tyranny. Yeah, they do. But what are you going to do about it? I want to ask you, what are you going to do about it? Friends, you know when you see people protesting out in the street with their pickets and stuff and they're like running around, they're wasting their time. You do not protest the government with these signs. You do nothing that way. You protest the government with your wallet. That's how you vote. Your vote means nothing when you go vote for left, right, up, down. Who cares, okay? Your vote means nothing. Don't bother yelling at them in public. Who cares? You can't do anything. They don't care. But when you vote with your wallet, now we're getting somewhere. How do you vote with your wallet? Have you heard of a little industry called the cryptocurrency industry? That's all you got to do, right? That's all you have to do. Total crypto market cap is going up because people have a bank account here, and here is your digital wallet. And all they're doing is, right, people are moving from there into crypto wallet, and that's it. And this thing goes up. That's what happens. So this is actually shrinking, but this thing is just so big, right, that it's shrinking at a small pace. And that's why crypto is going big. So that's all you got to do. We just vote with our wallet. That's it. Just we're in the new system, and we're predicting that other people are going to keep joining this new system because it's better. It's even better for the government. Crypto is better for the government. By the way, you're going to see. So people always ask me, "Hey, how's crypto going to get up to this 10 trillion, etc.?" Right? And I often tell them, you know what's going to happen? El Salvador's average price for Bitcoin, they bought in around here. Right? They were bought in around there. That's the average price. Once we clear El Salvador's price, other third world countries are going to notice and go, whoa, El Salvador dropped their crime rate, their murder rate. The country's GDP is boosted. I want that for my country and my people. You know, a lot of these third world countries, the corruption is strong just because there's not enough money to go around. It's so much easier. Instead of like swallowing the pill for 10 years, everybody's so poor that everyone in politics, they're like, well, you know, let's print money, let's do something dodgy because I can't be bothered waiting 10 years. Because they have such a short duration, like, thinking. That's all they're thinking about. But once you go on a hard money standard, it forces you to be wiser. And once they see El Salvador do it, and if everyone in the country is using a money like Bitcoin, then everything flows more better. And we're going to see everybody FOMO by the top up here. Much more countries, right? And yes, it will be a top again. That'll be funny. Okay, so look at this. Continuing on. While cash transactions are anonymous, a CBDC will allow the government to surveil all our private affairs. The central bank will have the power to enforce dollar limits on our transactions, restricting where you can spend money, when you can spend it, and when it expires. So very interesting. And yes, it's true. We know this. This is just a smart contract. That's all they do. A tick at time. So all they want to do is have total control. Isn't that funny? But specifically what they want to do is, well, you remember this. Everybody knows what happened in macro during this time period, right? If we put on, you know, crypto fell during this part. Even look at Bitcoin chart. You know, these collapses, right? What was everybody saying? Macro's bad, macro's bad, macro's bad. That's what everybody is saying that. They're saying interest rates are high. They keep hiking rates. Inflation's too high. So the goal with the CBDC is What they want to do is they want to control you such that when they give you a stimulus, you've only got 30 days to spend it, and in certain areas. Effectively, what they do is they're limiting the chance that the supermarket runs out of bananas and inflation goes too high. And then they have to ruin the whole money printer game all over again. Because we all know the M2 money supply keeps going up, right? This famous chart, always look at it. The M2 money supply keeps going up no matter what they do. But they want to avoid this being required to keep going up at an accelerated rate. Because this is their Ponzi system. They make the money, they get the money. Ta-da, isn't that a cool magic trick? They make it, they give it to their big bankster crony friends. There is no blockchain to verify anything. Okay, we have to trust these public numbers and ledgers and data. I don't trust any of it. Do you? How the hell are me and you going to count any of these accounts? You got no idea. There's so much money out there. I've seen so many leaked information, all these UFO documentaries and all these other alien tech and all these. And even if you don't believe any of that, what's very evident is they have pathways to print money and launder. They all do. So whether you even believe the stories or not, doesn't even matter. Put it aside. The military, they do funnel into secret dark funds that just goes into somewhere and they take it off the ledger. And like, oh, where'd that extra 1.4 trillion go? And they're like, well, look the other way. That's just what they're doing, okay? Now, we can't change anything. All we can do is go to the new system. That's it. That's what we're doing now. So CBDCs, CBDCs is their plan to slow down the death of their system. It will probably give more life to the fiat Ponzi. So we're probably not going to go to zero immediately, okay? So look, a CBDC will be tied to a digital ID and social credit score to allow governments to freeze your assets or limit your spending to be approved if your vendor fails to comply with arbitrary diktats, for example, vaccine mandates. Yes, so of course that's what's going to happen. Complete total control. But like I say, yeah, what are you really going to do? What are we going to do? What are you going to do? Just vote for the better system. And if the world truly doesn't want to go this path, the countries who adopt crypto standards faster, if their GDP rises, they will become the new hubs of the world. We'll see that more. Now, it's not going to be a perfect utopia, but more competition, the better. This is exactly what we want to see. So, you know, these CBDCs, they've been spoken about for so long, friends. You can't even use the word conspiracy because how the hell did people know this was going to happen decades ago? In the same path. They said they're going to keep printing money. They're going to hit their limits. Then there's going to be a crisis. Then they're going to print. And then there's going to be more cracks in the system. And then what they're going to do, this is the crazy part. I learned this off Simon Dixon. From to 2012 presentation, Simon Dixon said the world government, central banks, they are going to help cause a banking crisis. Not central bank crisis, actual banks around the states. And once people lose confidence in that, we will be forced to give up our rights and we will go towards the path of CBDCs. And it's exactly what's happening now. They started hiking rates. These things start blowing up. It's crazy how these people know. But this is probably what happens when a society moves more towards state-controlled. You know, everybody has to give up a bit more rights every single decade. And it keeps compounding over time. Our children and our children's children will have even less rights, but they'll only know that that's the new normal, okay? So, the Fed, they're initially going to limit the CBDCs to interbank transactions. But we should not be blind to the obvious danger that this is the first step in banning and seizing Bitcoin as the Treasury did with gold 90 years ago today. Very interesting and very true. Yes. So, in this see how this M2 money supply is going up? That's the supply. When the supply goes up, they want the system to be a closed circle Ponzi. All economies are circular. They don't want another economy because they want the money circling. That's what they want. Go, hey, play with this funny money, right? But they get all the cheat codes, man. They get to print it. The system's rigged. You know, there are US dollar maxis on Twitter. I'm not even going to name their names. They're like big macro guys. These people are so scum. Like, you know what they actually try to tell me? They try to tell me that, not even me, right? But they try to tell everybody that this chart is actually a chart of demand. So as the money goes up, there's more demand. Like, who the hell are you kidding? The example I use is, if you're a bartender and someone comes in and wants their 15th drink, and then you give them the 15th drink and they go have a car crash, right, and they're too drunk, are you gonna say, oh, no, I wasn't supplying the alcohol. No, that person demanded it. You see? That was demand. It's not a problem with me. Like, I don't even know where they get these ideas from. It's funny, but when people are long something, so they're long the DXY, right? The DXY, we quickly have a look. They're long the US dollar, and they probably have a big position in it, and they've had it for years. So whatever they'll do is going to justify how they're long. They're like, no, this is actually... Do you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Bitcoin maxis using this argument. What they're going to say is they go, well, when Bitcoin is at $200,000 is actually cheaper than $10,000 because now it's more legit. Now more funds are allowed to buy in. You're going to hear that argument come in and it's going to be a load of poop. Don't believe that. That's exactly what they want you to believe. They want you to hold the bag up there or keep buying. So it's funny, man. It's funny how we rationalize everything, okay? So this closed circle economy, this is crypto here, this smaller one, right? They want the money going round and round. They do not want people to go, hey man, we can come here. Because this circle gets larger and larger and it shrinks their one. They don't want that. That's what they're doing with these CBDCs. So are they going to ban it? Well, probably. They might. Friends, I'm just letting you know, okay? I have a prophecy from many years ago, and look, I'm telling you now, I made this prophecy here when I came into crypto. I don't know, I was just doing 18 hours a day. I was researching. You have to figure out what is this Bitcoin? This is scary, but you're going to have to know this, okay? My prophecy is Bitcoin will go so high one day, right, that, maybe not here, maybe up here. Some point, Bitcoin's going to hit near gold's market cap, which would be about 500,000. Okay, let's draw a box here. To hit gold, it would be about 500,000. So somewhere, as it approaches gold's market cap, I believe, I know, I feel it, I can smell it. The government's going to hit the emergency ban button. They're just going to hit it. They're going to ban it, and what they're going to do is they're going to buy themselves time. They're going to buy themselves, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months. I don't know how long they can buy themselves time for, but they're actually going to just hit, that's it, we got to do this. Every single world government, I think we're just going to wake up one day and the government's going to be like, oh, there's too many terrorists using this Bitcoin, and it's just going to be, obviously it's going to be the most fakest thing ever, but that's what they have to do. They have to do this. It's a game. You have to see this as a game, friends. They got to do this. They got to do, so it's going to be scary, but I'm telling you now, this is coming. And it's not going to work, but it'll work on the weak paper hands. The weak paper hands who are there for the number go up, they're the ones who are going to cop the retracement. They're going to be the ones selling the bottom. And that's what's going to happen, okay? And what we might find is there's going to be stories probably in the midst of that bear market that they try to usher in and that destruction. We're going to see stories. We're going to see governments print money and go against the ban, the worldwide ban. They're probably going to be like, just get this, because we're losing the battle, okay? It's going to be quite scary. That's why I really advise, friends, in this next crypto cycle, I hope it's not the next one. I hope it's the one after that, by the way. But in this next crypto cycle, please rotate profits. If you can buy property, do that, but always keep cash on the side. You're going to need that in that next one. In this next one, we're going to start to become a real threat. Right now, we're actually we're annoying. We're annoying enough where they want to fight, but I think we will grow in size. They said we're not big enough for them to hit the emergency panic button yet. Right? The emergency panic. So they're sending the SEC, garbage Gensler, all this other stuff. They can't stop this, okay? The emergency button is when we wake up and there's literally just going to be a coordinated, 15 countries say, oh yeah, this Bitcoin, right? Apparently
Apparently, it's going to zero because it's all for child abusers. That's what we're gonna see. And look, we can only pray. We can only pray that this will be in the midst of a bear market, not somewhere where we're still holding. Right? I don't want to jinx it. I hope it's not now, because then this is gonna be really crap, friends. Yeah. Just to let you know by now, just so you know in your brain, even if they do this hardcore ban, they still can't stop it. I'm telling you now, the game theory is too good. The game theory of all the other BRICS nations and everyone else, of them existing and thinking about, hey, we don't want to be on the US dollar. They need a neutral currency. They do. This is the best option for them. So let's hope that at one point, maybe there's some oil pricing in Bitcoin. Maybe there's some hope for the commodities in that sector, for us to actually have the conviction to hold. Because that's what we're waiting for, right? We're waiting for more countries to adopt, more things to happen. You need that conviction to hold. That's what it's going to come down to. So these CBDC is going to keep coming, right? So as you know, right, look at this. The Fed limiting their transactions, right? Gold, they banned gold, 1933. But I want you to know this too, okay? This is the tough part. So even though they banned gold 1933 and they confiscated it, today, if the government is running out of money, right, which they need to keep printing their debt, it's much easier for them to tax property because you can't move it anywhere. And it's much easier to tax stocks and company tax rate. So that's something I just need you to explore here, right? Because the total crypto market cap is like going to be 1.5 trillion soon, right? That's nothing. That's tiny. When we're in the 10 trillion range, that is the size of gold, right? So when we hit there, maybe that's the next era, friends. So I'm going to show you here. Total crypto market cap. Up here, this is what I want you to know. Never forget this. You never, ever, ever forget this. So gold's market cap is about 10 trillion. In the next bull wave, if we get to 10 trillion, as we're going to be so excited, doing backflips, drinking orange juice, 3 ice cubes, eating bananas. But don't forget, we are now an actual threat, like red alert threat, sirens everywhere, because now we are the size of gold. Gold is manipulated by the US government and the central banks. They keep a lid on the price of gold so it doesn't blow up and act as the release valve for the fiat debt system. So when we hit 10 trillion, don't ever forget that. That's why I'm telling you, friends. That's why I'm telling you, hey, instead of putting $1,000 and hoping for 1,000x, why don't you put $10,000 in a certain coin and get the 100x? Do that. Get more aggressive so you're not caught holding the next top, because the next top's going to be vicious, because the attack by the governments is going to get you more scared, even though they have less power over time. It's going to scare the weak hands more, and it's going to suck, because the volatility is going to be less. Oh, that's right. That's going to trip you out. Yeah, the volatility is going to be less, friends. So the governments are going to come in and try to ban Bitcoin. We probably won't even do minus 75 or 80%. Maybe all they can do is make it drop like 65%. But that means the volatility is getting so much lower. You're like, man, the risk reward is sucking now, right? So this is what you want, right? When we weren't even a threat to anybody, this is obviously this was like a 85% drop. You get 100x from Bitcoin back here. So that's the times you want to be in. When the governments are banning it, it's too late, man. It's too late. That means they've lost the battle already. They've lost the battle. You don't want that. That's why we're getting in now. So to continue as well, watch as the governments, which never let a good crisis go to waste, use the zombie virus and the banking crisis to usher in a new wave of CBDCs as a safe haven from germ-laden paper currencies, or as a protection against bank runs. So yeah, at the end of the day, they're causing these crises, friends. You're walking with them along the path. The government just gets a hammer and just smashes one of your knees. You're blown on your knee. You can't walk, and then they give you crutches and they help you up. It's exactly what they're doing. And they have to do this to protect their own fiat Ponzi system. That's why, friends, with like every crypto has a role. That's why Ethereum, the Bitcoin maxis try to paint Ethereum as like a really evil Fed coin, etc. But it's not. Ethereum serves as the gateway for world governments. We need Ethereum to be the way it is because this lets governments put their toes in. They can play around with the central banks. They can do this cool stuff. Once you lull them in with this, it opens up a can of worms for everybody in the world. Because now we're like, hang on, this thing's so much better. And now you can't turn back. Whereas the Bitcoin system, because it's like full Bitcoin decentralized, there's no applications, man. No one's building anything on there. It's just, you can't convince everybody to go be a doomer and to be anti-government, anarchist, libertarian. You can't convince everyone that. Even though, yes, it's cool, and I understand all the principles, but you're not going to get those people out there. People are here for the dog logos. They're here for number go up. They're here for the excitement. They're not here for, oh, well, I'm going to buy Bitcoin at $40,000 and I'm going to think about 1 million, but it's going to stop at 100K and then go down. That's not going to get them anywhere. But using smart contracts, playing around with these, that will open up the future for them. So what do we really do? We do nothing. I just want you to know this is just, we're turning another page. We're turning another page here. Total crypto market cap. It's going up. It will continue to go up. They have to keep printing money. They're going to try ban it and do certain things. The CBDCs are coming. This is super bullish for crypto. It is. But it's going to just introduce more variables for people to paper hand and get out of the system and go back. But really, at the end of the day, all that matters is your strategy. Just what strategy is, we've got to think about this, right? Well, my strategy is, hey, I think crypto should be worth 100 trillion one day. But what's the next milestone? The next milestone is to become a threat as big as gold. And that, my friends, is when the real party starts. Don't forget, this weekend, tell your mum and your dad that you love them.